Okay.
What's going on?
Um,
All right. What's going on, y'all? Hold on, am I recording? Yeah. What's going on, y'all? My name is Emmanuel,
my name is Amuro.
and welcome to Talk Unbounded, where we're talking business, money, and finance.
So that you can feel empowered to take action and impact those around you.
Yes, sir. So before we get into it, if you guys enjoyed this content that we're coming out with, don't forget to leave a like and comment down below what you guys want to see next. And also definitely check out our Instagram, where we'll be posting different teasers leading up to these videos, as well as a newsletter, a link to our newsletter, where we'll be, dropping even more value, even more information for you guys so that you can feel empowered to start that business or take action on whatever endeavor that your heart desires. All right. So without further ado, we'll get right into it. And I'm gonna put the floor onto my brother, Mihei, where he'll, talk about what exactly he does within this space. All right. So take the floor, bro.
Yeah. So what do I do? So I am, I hate this word, but entrepreneur and someone who creates products and services for the world, specifically in the jewelry industry. My brand is Amuro Jewelers, and we are a fine, demi-fine, and fine jewelry brand aimed at trying to popularize different African cultures and worldviews and putting into jewelry and into powerful messages that inspire people from the African diaspora or the continent, and just anybody in general who feels inspired by our messages. So yeah, I mean it's essentially like a day-to-day thing of what I do is I'm finding products or manufacturing products. Previously, in the first version of Amuro Jewelers, the brand was essentially doing what we call drop shipping, which was because I had no idea. I had no knowledge about manufacturing. I didn't know a lot about jewelry, specifically and how it's made. So I decided, hey, the easiest path to entry was fashion jewelry, which is your kind of super affordable, still quality jewelry pieces that didn't have the same precious materials in it, but it still looked good and is you can wear it. You can wear it. Men and women can there's different. It's just trendy and fashionable. So that's what I was doing before, and I was finding products that on different websites or different suppliers who had pieces that matched the look, the aesthetic I was going for. That was Afrocentric or Afro-esque, if you will. And I was drop shipping. I was buying those. I was marketing my brand and getting customers, getting attention, getting customers who would go to my store, buy my products. I'd send that information over to whoever are my suppliers, and then have it shipped to those customers, and I get the difference of the actual profit, and I wouldn't have to touch any inventory. That slowly started to buckle down because we can definitely talk about that part later. But I decided to pivot off into demi-fine and fine jewelry, like I mentioned, and actually start manufacturing my pieces from the very scratch, that to be fully original as possible, and really design or really figure out what my design philosophy is and make it truly authentic and transparent with the world. And so in terms of how I make my designs and how I find people who can manufacture, who can get the metal fabrication that I need, sourcing gemstones, all of these different moving parts. I'm currently working on that aspect. And yeah, I mean, and then just right now I'm just I'm doing that. So that's what we're all about. Amuro Jewelers, and yeah, overall just the jewelry space.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's a pretty cool idea. So, I mean, you went from drop shipping, to really taking, full control of your business, of your brand, whether it be, the manufacturing, the processing, the inventory, the marketing, all these different aspects that someone might not think about it or think about when it comes to building a brand. And I also really like that, you know, there's purpose behind the jewelry that you're creating or producing, right? As you mentioned, it's an Afrocentric brand. You're trying, you know, to make pieces that represent people's personality and their identity, and it's something that they can wear with intention to really, you know, exude confidence and exude what they're about in the world. So I mean, it's a really cool idea for a jewelry brand. And I mean, you don't see a lot of, you know, Black young men, you know, in this space. So it's really, it's a testament to, you know, going outside of your comfort zone, you know, thinking outside of the box in terms of, you know, what value I can provide to the world. So, you know, a really cool brand that, you know, my boy has going on. And before, you know, I get into sort of what I do in the business and investing world, I definitely want to ask you guys, or ask you, to let our viewers know, you know, what Amuro means. So just so that they know, you know, there's intention behind, you know, everything that we do. And that's how, that's always what we, you know, leap off of when it comes to, you know, building a brand or business.
Yeah. So essentially, just to keep it fluid, yeah, Amara is a Igbo word of southeastern Nigeria, and it means grace. You know, benevolence, overall, just good things. So we wanted to use that word Amara to just describe the kind of jewelry that we make and the kind of message we want to send to the world, how we want people to feel when they wear our pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah. So grace.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so within within running a company, we know that as a company, we sell products and services in exchange for capital. And, you know, on a larger scale, when we talk about, you know, different financial markets, specifically like the stock market, where companies like mine, but much bigger and who go public, you
Mhm.
know, as they do their thing, selling products and services in exchange for capital, they also sell shares to, you know, different people who want to buy shares in that company. And over time, as the company grows more valuable, you know, people can make money off of that. That's what we typically I like think about when we think about like investing in financial markets. But there are other types of financial markets, and one that's been growing a lot of popularity and steam recently is known as Forex. And my boy Emmanuel is quite a expert in growing into a master within that space. So tell us a little bit about what you up to, man. Like, what is Forex, and what it is you actually do?
Yeah, so Forex, it's also known as foreign exchange, right? So basically, this is one of those financial markets that you have in the world. So, you know, similar to, you probably heard about the stock market, um, and cryptocurrencies. Well, you also have the Forex market or foreign exchange, where you can actually, you know, exchange one currency for another in order to make a profit or invest your money or build wealth, right? So I feel like the best way for me to explain it, is through this example where, you know, you can imagine that, right, you're in the US, but you want to take a trip to Nigeria, for example, right? So we have the dollar in the US, and you have the Naira, right? But you can't really use the US dollar to make exchanges in Nigeria, right? So you have to exchange the US dollar for the Naira, the currency that they use in Nigeria. So let's say, just for this example, right, just to make, you know, this very clear, let's say that the exchange rate is 1 to 1, right? So for every, you know, dollar that you have, that's equivalent to 1 Naira, right? So let's say that you go to a currency exchange booth and you give them $100 in exchange for 100 Naira, right? But this trip has already been paid for, right? You have family there that are taking care of your expenses, so you keep that money in your pocket until you have to come back, right? When you come back, you give that 100 Naira back to the currency exchange officer, and instead of $100, they give you $200, right? So, you know, you're not really questioning it at that moment, because, you know, you just want to take your money and be done with it, right? No questions asked. But in the back of your head, you're thinking about, what exactly just happened, right? So when you were abroad, the value of the US dollar increased with respect to the Naira. And that's how you were able to get that $200 back, because the value basically increased twofold, right? So that's basically foreign exchange, right? Like the value between currencies is constantly changing, and as an investor or trader, you can play off of those fluctuations to your advantage, right? So there's a lot of technical analysis involved. There's a whole mental and psychological aspect involved with trading. But if you're willing to put in the work, this is a viable way to invest your money and build generational wealth for yourself and for those around you. But currently right now, that's what I do, right? I trade. I'm a trader. I trade within the foreign exchange market, whether it's the US dollar for the Japanese yen, the South African rand versus the Singapore dollar. I have access to all these different currency pairs that I can trade and invest within, right? So that's currently what I'm up to.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's so cool because like literally yesterday, right?
Mm,
I sent money to my cousin in Nigeria, and he has a fashion brand, right?
mm,
And I just wanted to test if I could actually send him money, smoothly without extra fees, nothing.
yeah.
And so I downloaded this app, and just to test it, I was like, all right, let me send $1. Let me send $1. And the exchange rate was $1 right now. $1 is equal to about, I think, 374 Nigerian naira.
Mm,
And I was like, that's like this is what Emmanuel was essentially talking about. Like, if say after a certain amount of time, I were to come back and um, try to exchange that same 374 naira, say for some reason the value changed to that 374 Nigerian naira was $2.
mm,
If assuming that it was a short enough time frame and all the prices of all the stuff that I would buy or invest in stays the same, technically I've just made money. And
mm.
that's if I'm not wrong, like the principle of Forex within a certain time frame, that exchange, that fluctuation allows you to essentially make money in a given currency. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
So,
one thing that I definitely want to touch on is the fact that the value between currencies, it doesn't fluctuate a whole lot within days, weeks, or even months on end. But this sort of gets a little bit into the educational, piece of it, just to provide a little bit more understanding. But similar to how a clock moves in terms of minutes, step by step, the forex market moves in terms of pips, right? So that's the unit of measurement that it moves in. Now you can attach something called a lot size to an order or execution. So as the market is moving pip by pip, that's basically the fourth decimal down in terms of a currency value exchange rate. So it's not a whole lot of movement, but it's what you can attach to that movement where you can start to see returns or actually make a considerable amount of income, right? So I don't want to get too uh, deep into it, especially in this video, but
mhm.
just know that the value between currencies is not moving a lot, but it's how the forex market works that allows you to actually make a considerable amount of income if you're willing to put in the work.
Word. Yeah. So that's a bit about what we do. We're definitely going to get into more things, more topics, answering more questions. And if you liked what you saw from Talk Unbounded so far, like Emmanuel said, we definitely encourage you to subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can see what we are up to next, and follow us on Instagram, right? Follow us on Instagram. We
Yeah.
have a sign up link that we want you to look into. It's in that Instagram link, but we'll also include a sign up link in the bio where you can hit us up for our newsletter. Recently, like Emmanuel said, we have our e-PDF that we want to share with you, and it's called five Steps to Taking Action on Your Passion. And yeah, if you want to know more about how you want to engage in business, money, and finance. Or if you're actually in, in a certain, let's not even call it a side hustle, a venture, a business or some sort of, um, you know, stream of income, essentially. And you just want encouragement from other people. That's what the EPDF is all about. So if you want access to that, find that sign up link in the description or in our IG link, and stay in touch with us. This is going to be the start of many more great conversations to come about business, money, and finance, and just feeling empowered. Don't be afraid to take action, and link up with other people who are like-minded. Yep.
Yeah.
So again, my name is Amamihe.
My name is Emmanuel.
And from Talk Unbounded, we are signing out.